All right, the Eagles made a couple of moves over the weekend that, for a team that has very few weaknesses, has raised some eyebrows about whether they're concerned about one specific weakness. They add a couple of veteran linebackers on one-year deals, Myles Jack and Zach Cunningham, each deal worth up to $2.5 million. Nakobe Dean missed the past couple of practices with an ankle injury. There's a lot of hype and a lot of hope for Dean. And there's a sense, Chris, that maybe there's concern and they want to shore up that position.
Yeah, I listen, Mike, I had to do something yesterday for my podcast, right? Pick one guy to watch for each team in the NFC in the preseason, right? That we kind of feel is, hey, if he jumps off, it's big for the team, or, ooh, this could be a weak spot for the football team altogether. So, as I'm sitting there at home on Sunday, I'm going through the exercise and, of course, looking at the NFC teams, and you get to the Eagles, and, of course, it's an amazing roster, as we know. But you get to that point of the roster right there, and you go, that there's some questions right down the middle of Philadelphia's defense. Not on the defensive line, but when you get to linebacker safety, that's a different conversation than it was last year. And Nakobe Dean, was a guy that I believe was a little overhyped coming out of college. Of course, was behind the greatest D-line in the history of college football back there, racking up tackles. But he is 5'11". He is 230 pounds. He's not your prototypical guy that way, right? And, of course, he didn't play a ton last year, so he's inexperienced as well. But you look at that part of the roster and you go, wait, middle linebacker, Nakobe Dean, Nicholas Morrow, who's been a guy that's been around the NFL, was on the Raiders, for a few years. But there's nobody you can sit there and look on their roster and go, ooh, they put some good work, good film in the NFL. They've been there. They've done that. They've done it for a few years. So I'm sure here they are a few weeks into training camp, and they're going, wait, our guy's banged up, and wait, we're not exactly deep at the stand-up middle linebacker position here. We need some guys that have, can quarterback the defense, get guys organized the right way, can take coaching to different game plans, and that's where Myles Jack and Zach Cunningham will come into play.
He slid a little bit in the draft to round 3, pick number 83, won the Butkus Award, was a unanimous All-American, but that size issue and some injury issues, and when you don't have the size, you're going to have some injury issues. It did cause some concern and contribute to the plummet, and now we're at the point in camp where teams have had time to see how it all fits together,
Mike.
And there's veterans out there that they can add to address concerns that they may have developed. Here's Nick Sirianni from Sunday talking about his current linebacker room.
So what went behind you guys signing 2 linebackers today? What was the reason why you guys went out and did that?
We are low, a little bit low at that position as far as the amount of guys, and just really, we really do feel good about the room. We just want to bring in some extra competition to let things, shake out and see who, at the end of the day, the best guys will play. But, I think Nakobe's done a great job. Obviously he's working through this ankle injury.
So, look, they got to do what they got to do to get through preseason games. They got to do what they have to do to evaluate the roster. And they ultimately have to make decisions about where our weaknesses are and how we're going to properly address them. So Jack and Cunningham were available. They're now on the Eagles. And I get the impression, I don't know how much guaranteed money's out there, but it's almost like one of them's going to make the team and one isn't. Like, let's bring them both in. Let's see what they both do. And, what's the old Glenn Ross? The winner gets steak knives and the loser gets fired.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked. It could be let's bring both of these guys in, both veterans, both played a lot. Let's see, who kind of rises to the top. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if both of them, stay there, right? I won't. The one thing I'll say there is Nakobe Dean, sure, a little banged up, but I think it's I'm excited to see what he does or question how good he can be, right? So that's real. And you look at their position, like I know he said they're a little light with numbers there. I don't know if they're really that light. This might be one where I look at it and go, both of these guys might make the football team when you kind of look at that position there. And, of course, veterans, smart. They both can run. They both got more size than some of the guys they got on the roster there. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, an interesting move, and it certainly was the one question mark I think we had about the Eagles, and this kind of just fuels the fire a little bit to continue to question that and evaluate it as we go on here.
And that's the reality. When you have a team that is loaded at so many positions, anywhere that they're not becomes glaring.
Right.
Because there are very few weaknesses on the Philadelphia Eagles roster, so that's something to monitor as the preseason approaches and the regular season, again, just 1 month away. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.